welcome to this week's Albert Square After Dark, your weekly EastEnders podcast. This week we'll be discussing the episodes that aired between the 21st to the 24th of April, 2025. How are you all? Hope you had a good Easter if you were celebrating. And joining me, of course, is Rob. Hello, Rob.
Hello there. How are you this week, Ree? All right?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? How was your Easter? Did
All
you do
right.
anything?
Well, I didn't do anything but eggs. Eggs, lots of eggs. Do you know what?
Yes.
I got
How
three
many
this year.
eggs?
Three. I haven't eaten them all yet, but I was given gifted three eggs this year. The price of them, though, can you believe it? The
How
price of
much?
eggs.
Wait, hang on. What
Well,
eggs did you get? What is your
well,
preference?
yeah, but preferences and what you're actually gifted are two different things, aren't they?
That's true.
I
That
mean,
is true.
the three I got were from Cadbury's, and one of them was one of those incredible ones that's sort of like marbled effect in the middle.
Ooh.
That apparently was like 12 quid or something stupid like that. I know the price of them, but if you want to know about egg wars, Reese had an egg war this week, haven't you? Tell us all about your war with Cadbury's.
I really didn't think it was that interesting, but
I think it's
apparently
just
it is.
fascinating.
So, I got gifted one Easter egg this
Yeah,
year, right? And to
yeah.
be fair, I've been trying to cut down on my chocolate
Mm.
consumption. So I'm all right with it. And it's my favourite type. I love a Cadbury's and I'm a mini egg specific. I love mini eggs as well.
Yeah,
So I got
yeah,
a little bag of mini eggs with it. Anyway,
yeah, yeah,
gone to open my only Easter egg that I got this year,
yeah.
and you should have seen the state of it, right? Not only was it a bit melted on one side, and I mean melted,
Warped. I've
there
seen
was
the
half of
pictures.
it missing. Half of it was missing,
Yeah,
right?
big old hole in it.
So do you know what? As Rob told me, I did a Karen. Okay.
Yeah,
I emailed www.cadburys.com
yeah.
and said, what on earth? Anyway, Rob then asks me, did I get a response? Yes, I did, saying you've emailed the wrong address. Please email about products. So I have. I've
Yeah,
sent them another one. Basically, just in the hopes that they might send me some free chocolate,
free
to be quite
chocolate.
honest
That's all
with
you
you.
want really out of it, isn't it?
That's
I
it.
mean, when do we get to the stage? Because I reckon that when you're young, you're not bothered about that sort of thing, are you? About like emailing companies and complaining. You just sort of get on with your life, don't you? But then you hit a
Yeah,
certain age, it's just
totally.
like I'm getting in touch with them. This is outrageous. I'm
It's the
kicking off.
principle, Rob. It's the
Yes,
principle. They
principle of
basically
the thing.
ruined my Easter that, I
Yeah,
don't really care about or
yeah.
celebrate.
No, you've had a
But
worse Easter than Ian Beale did that Good Friday when Lucy died, haven't you? Just an appalling Easter. Awful. You
well,
poor woman.
it's basically Chocolate Festival, isn't it?
It is the Festival of
It's
Chocolate.
Chocolate Fest. Well, they've ruined Chocolate Fest for me. They ruined
Yeah,
Choc Fest.
yeah,
So
yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
I'll keep you all updated as I'm
Yes,
sure you're
please.
all so interested
So
in knowing
engrossed in
about.
the story of Ree
Yes.
versus Cadbury's. A great story. Yeah,
I
there
love
you go.
Cadbury's though. Like, I'm not going to diss them or anything. I'm just
No,
disappointed this time round.
yeah. So
There
there
we
we
go.
go. So
Anyway.
we'll keep you updated with that. See how much free chocolate Ree gets. On to this week's EastEnders. I mean, a good week. I enjoyed this week a lot. There was some really strong stuff this week. One of those weeks where it's been tricky to make notes because the stories were all sort of weirdly intertwined. I mean, that's another problem.
Yeah.
Apart from that, but I've really enjoyed this week. We have some great stuff with the Phil and Nigel storyline, and some lovely little
Yes.
friendship and character work development this week, which I really enjoyed. Harry and
Definitely.
Kojo, loving that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm enjoying it all. Very Mitchell heavy week, wasn't
It
it?
was, but I don't
Yes.
mind. I
No,
like
no.
these new Mitchells. In
Yeah.
fact, I reckon this has been one of my favourite sort of because they were quite heavily focused this week, weren't they? And I reckon this has
Yes.
probably been one of my favourite weeks for the new Mitchells. I think I've really enjoyed all of them this week.
Yeah, I agree with that actually. It has
Mm,
been a very good week for them all, hasn't it? And we've had
yes.
them all a bit separate, a bit more separate
Yeah,
as well,
they've
doing
all
their
had
own
their own
thing
little
a little
things to
bit.
do. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been
yeah.
nice. Yeah,
Nice.
so let's get on with discussing it.
In this week's Albert Square After Dark.
Right, let's kick off this week. We're talking about. We'll start with the Mitchell stuff. Now, I can say it all kind of came in segments this week. So we'll start with talking about the Nicola stuff. So Teddy confesses to her that he's taken on this project in Dartford. And Nicola at first is sort of like, WTF, mate? What the hell?
Seriously?
And then sort of realizes that she needs to kind of play it cool and everything
Yeah.
will be fine. You know, there's no, it's not like he's working on Paradise Park or anything like that, is it? She sacked Zach this week, by the way, which I kind
Oh
of thought was going to
yeah.
happen sooner.
Yeah, same, but I'd love to see that go to some kind of tribunal, like
I mean, you
why did you
would, wouldn't
sack
you?
him?
I think you would. I feel like Zach's got a lot more over her than she has over him.
Yeah, but I guess she'll just threaten her Evis on him and probably get him on him if he tries anything like that. So,
She's such a nice
but
lady, isn't she?
some people are surely going to question, like, why have you sacked Zach
Yeah,
as
you'd
well?
think. You'd think. And that bar gets busy. She's going to regret that, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Eventually, Teddy recruits Ross, who it turns out is a builder. That's useful.
Oh, yes.
That's good. That's
And
good
he's
to
going to
know.
be the lead builder. I don't
Head
know what the
builder,
correct term
head
was.
brick,
Yes.
head Lego man. Sort of
Yes.
like
Yeah.
special. He's got a special sort of golden cement scraper thing, and as the leader of it all, or something. I don't know
We're so buildy, aren't we,
how
Rob?
buildy. Such a lad. I don't know how building hierarchy works exactly. Top of the scaffolding. He gets to sit on the top scaffolding on his lunch break, and all the others have to sit on the bottom. He gets to sit there as king of the castle. Um, and that's when Nicola discovers that they're working on Paradise Park.
Dun 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 dun
Done,
dun dun.
done,
Dun.
duff, duff, duff. So, what she then decides to do is give Benji a call, and he tells him, right, you need to move that body because they're working on it.
Now.
So now, please, can you
You're
move
the
that
one's going
body
to be in
last week,
trouble,
please?
mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you know what though? Actually, I'm not going to be in trouble because I was watching EastEnders last year and I saw when Denise's bracelet got mixed in with with Keanu's body.
Necklace. Yeah.
So I thought that's a great idea. So I took your bracelet and buried it with Shireen's body. So if that body gets discovered, you're in the shit, not me. Genius.
Soz.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
no, fair.
fair.
That's
Yeah.
insurance, isn't
That
it?
is
That is
insurance.
insurance.
That is
Yeah.
insurance. So what he then does is give her a 3-word code for this for where the body is. I'd forgotten about 3 words, and you?
Yeah,
I'd
what
forgotten
three
that
words?
existed.
Totally forgot about what three
What were the three
words.
words? They were cowgirl,
Dollar,
dollar, and
fame.
fame. I think it was. Does it have to be
Dollar,
in a certain
fame,
order?
cowgirl. I think. Yeah, surely. Surely, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You'd think
What
so.
you'd think so. I wonder if it's an actual location. We should have checked.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look now, and I'll fill.
I
So
hope I've still got the app on my phone. I should
have
have.
you? I've completely forgot about 3 words. I forgot that was a thing. It's a
So
clever
what?
idea.
It was dollar, fame,
Dollar
cowgirl.
Fame
It was that
Cowgirl, I
order.
think.
Let's have a
Yeah,
look.
Dollar Fame Cowgirl. Imagine if there's a thing by the show that you win a tour to the EastEnders set or something if you type it into 3 words. That would be good. That's what
Yeah.
they
Well,
should have
no,
done.
don't get your hopes up,
Oh,
guys.
is it not a thing?
It doesn't even exist. It's not even
What
a
about
place.
in a different order?
Oh, all right. Let's try
Let's try
fame,
that.
dollar, cowgirl, dollar,
Is it a thing?
cowgirl. No,
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 that's
no, nothing.
that's sad.
That's disappointing. The closest is a place in Stoke.
Oh right, well that's not where Shireen's buried, is it? That's a
No, it's
shame.
not.
That's
Oh
a
well.
shame.
I guess no
Um,
one's gonna find our Shireen then, are
Do you
they?
think that they had to like sort of like find like think of words and combinations that weren't a place?
Of
Do you
course
reckon
they
that's a
did,
thing?
but
In case it like
they've
pointed to
missed
someone's house or something like
they've missed a
that.
trick. They should have just done it at an industrial place in Derby.
Yeah,
I'm sure one exists. I would
probably.
have done that anyway. But yeah,
Imagine.
maybe it's from security reasons. That
Yeah,
ain't a good
probably.
idea.
You know when they give phone numbers out and everybody rings that phone number. I used to do that as a
Yeah,
kid.
I've done that
I
before
used to do that as a
when I
kid
was younger. Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
always.
There was a phone number, I think, in a Mr. Bean episode or something like that, and I rang the number. I think I was only about 8. I rang the number, and this woman answered. I was like, "Hello." I was like, "Hello, is Mr. Bean there, please?" She was like, "No." Apparently, and my mum took the phone off me, and apparently it was the 15th call she'd had that day.
Poor woman. I bet they
Poor
all
woman.
learned after that. Let's
I
not
bet
just
they
put
did.
random phone
Yeah,
numbers into
I
TV
yeah.
shows, right?
So that doesn't exist. But yeah, three
That doesn't
words, fair
exist.
play, EastEnders. I've
Yeah,
forgotten that
yeah,
existed.
yeah.
So Nicola's kind of on her own now. She's like, well, that's great. So she recruits Ravi
Of
and tells
course.
him that I'll give you 10 grand if you do a job for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to say now, 10 grand for what the job was, tight. I'd be asking for
Right.
double that to move a body, wouldn't you?
Well, when he found out what it actually was eventually, I thought you were
Yeah,
going to be like,
you can up
times it
that.
by
You
5
can
and I
up
might
that for a
think about it.
start. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because Ravi's reluctant to get involved at first because Avani
Yes.
needs him. Avani's kind of quite needy with him this week, and she's like, and
And
he
she's
wants.
wanting a holiday. She's got her
She is.
hopes up.
She wants to go Malta? Was it
Oh, I don't.
somewhere beginning with
Marbs?
them?
I don't know. She's
Marbella. It
Marbella.
might be not Marbella,
Mar
Malta, Marbella,
Marbella, Rob, you don't say the L's.
Morecambe,
Say
somewhere
it
beginning with them.
properly.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Marbella.
Marbella. Um, so Nicola's like, right, well, you need money, so I'll give you 10 grand. There's a job I need you to do. What I love is the fact that she didn't tell him it was a body until he was just about to leave. By the
Well,
way,
it's
it's
kind
a
of fair,
body.
isn't it?
By the way, it's a body.
But also, she didn't plan that very well, did she? Because,
No,
like, if she'd have told him a bit sooner, she could have had someone on a backup. But
yeah,
clearly, she
she could have
doesn't.
had a plan B.
He's clearly these heavies that she's got, even they've got lines that they won't cross. Otherwise, surely she would have just asked
Well,
one of
yeah,
those guys,
yeah.
right?
And to be fair, I don't think you can set your heavies on Ruffy. He'd win, wouldn't they?
No, I mean to like go and move the body.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
You'd
Why ask
think,
Ravi when you've apparently got, all
yeah.
these people on your books? Well, maybe
Well,
not
it's
on your
all
books,
about
but
sort of. I think in Nicola's head, it's all about sort of asserting that authority and having your fingers in
mm,
pies and all that kind of thing. And she's got Ruffy on the
you reckon?
books or
A
under
bit
her
like Nish
thumb.
used to be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's a new
Mm.
niche, isn't she? That's the thing. Nicola is the new niche.
Oh yeah, she's the
Yeah,
female Nish.
she is. Hopefully, this was
Nicola,
Nicola.
Nish, not
Oh,
too
it's
far.
practically the same.
That's it. That's why they've
That's
done
it.
it, clearly.
Yeah, clearly just because their names both begin with N.
And I.
And Ravi's like, Ravi basically tells her to do one. I am not moving a body. I don't care if you're going to give me 10 grand or not. And at that moment, Teddy walks in, and Ravi's like,
Yeah.
do you want to know what she's up to? Do you want to know what she just asked me to do?
I know, we expected him to
No,
say
neither
it,
was
but to be
I.
fair, Ravi,
Yeah.
it's one of those things though in certain way, like why don't you just tell him and they never do? But
And
Ravi did. I
yeah,
was
Ravi
so
did.
shocked.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I was shocked. I didn't think he was going to. I thought this was going to be a long runner. Because now Teddy
Yeah.
knows. Now Teddy knows that
Yeah.
Shireen's apparently dead. Is she dead? This is the question I want to know. Do you
No.
reckon she's dead?
We've not seen her dead, have we? If we've not seen it, it's not
We've
happened.
not seen her
And
alive, never mind dead. So,
I reckon this Benji guy's just having fun. So I'm wondering if Nicola
just
thought
having a
that she'd
laugh.
killed her. Yeah,
Yeah,
Nicola
yeah.
thought she'd killed her. Then she woke up and he's gone, right, escape, and I'll tell Nicola
My
that I'm
instinct
going
with
to do
this,
it.
when we first met Benji, was that there was a bit of a Snow White and the Huntsman type thing going
Definitely,
on there.
yeah. We said that, didn't we? Yeah,
And then maybe
100%.
he's made up this thing about the bracelet just to sort of
Yeah, to
panic.
wind her up.
Yeah, to wind her up or stop her looking or stop her trying to interfere with it or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I know that she's dead for sure. But because now Teddy knows, I'm sort of
Hmm.
like, well, what's Teddy going to do with this information? Because is he going to keep it secret now? I mean, presumably.
Well, I don't know actually, or is he going to help like move it and go, well, now I'm incriminated because people are going to think I got involved in Paradise Park because
Yeah,
I knew that the body was buried there. So is he
yeah.
actually in turn going to help Nicola just to help himself so that he doesn't get blamed for it? Then they're going to dig up the dollar fame cowgirl
Cowgirl
swap and
place.
realize that
Yeah,
she's not there.
yeah, yeah.
Is that what's
Yeah,
going to happen?
it's maybe. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm kind of in the opinion at the moment that she isn't dead. I have to say.
I don't think she's dead. I don't think she's dead. I'll be amazed if there's actually a dead body.
Mm, yeah,
Surely not.
because I also don't want Nicola to have a shelf life because if she's a murderer, then she's got a shelf life, hasn't she? And I really don't want Nick.
Mm.
I want Nicola to run and run and run. So
No, there's got to be more to it. There's definitely got to
because
be
we don't
more
know
to it.
why any of this happened yet, we might find that out next week. I think that
Yeah,
might
that's true.
because Teddy
Why would
presumably is
she?
going to have questions
Mm.
like, why is she dead? Why did you kill her? What the hell, love? So.
And was she supposedly pregnant as well at the time?
Oh, what
Shireen.
Shireen? I don't
I'm
remember that.
sure
She
she was
might have been.
pregnant at the
Was
time.
she?
Yeah, because I'm sure I remember thinking she's going to come back with a 4-year-old or something, and it'll turn out to be Harry's. I'm sure that she was
Did you make
pregnant.
that up, or is that actually something that
No,
happened? I
I'm
can't remember.
sure. I'm like 80% certain that she was
Oh,
pregnant
okay. She might have been.
as well.
I bow to your knowledge because I've learned now that if you've predicted
Checking a bit.
something, chances are it's
I'm
probably
checking a
coming
bit.
true. All right.
Retro.
So that's happening. So that's I
Yes.
really enjoyed all this stuff this week. I love Nicola. I just think she's great. I think she's such a great character. And now that her and Teddy are sort of on the same page with this, I wonder what Teddy's reaction is going to be. He was very angry when he found out, understandably, I think.
Mm. He
So
needs to hear the reasons, but I still think
I don't
like
think there's going to be any good enough reasons, is there?
well, no, and also like the fact that the entire family, she's let Harry take the fall for it to the point that he was getting beat
Yeah,
up for it. They've
yeah,
had
yeah,
to
yeah,
leave Dartford and start afresh in an entirely new place because everyone thought that Harry did it.
yeah.
Like to have done that to her own kid. God, wait till he finds out that Barney's not his kid on top
Well,
of
this is what I
everything.
mean. Like all the secrets that Nicola's kind of hiding at the moment. It's all gonna kind of
Mm.
explode in pretty spectacular fashion. I think when the
Oh, she's
boys find
great,
out.
ain't she?
Oh, she's great. She's arrived and has instantly has started so much stuff. I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. It's good. It's good.
But I do think that Teddy's going to end up helping to get it taken away. It's going to be
Yeah.
easy enough for him to do because Junior's not here. No one's going to question him doing something. And then I think that they're going to discover that she's not actually there. Surely.
Yeah.
But if
So
they
I
do
think
discover that she's there, what are they going to do with the body? How
yeah,
are they
where
going to
they're gonna
sort
move
that?
it. Where they're gonna move
Mm.
it. I
What was she
mean,
expecting Ravi to do?
Well, he could have taken her to the woods where he was going to bury Eve. He's already got a grave dug. He started digging
That's
that grave for
true.
Eve, didn't he? So he could just
There we
stick her in
go.
there. There you go,
There we
sorted.
go.
There you
Sorted.
go.
Yeah.
Next to a tree with the word six carved into it for no reason whatsoever.
Just to
Remember
just to
that?
wind us
To
all up.
wind
Yeah.
us up, and it did. I
Yeah.
was convinced I'd found some
Yeah.
amazing clue when I found that. So that's good. I think we'll presumably going to discover the truth next week, aren't we?
Mm.
As to why
Yeah.
or if Shireen's dead. I think we'll
Hmm.
discover everything that's gone on. Nicola must confess. We'll see. Elsewhere with the Mitchells,
Yes.
Barney and Avani. My heart, my aching,
Bhavani.
icy little heart melted this week. Bhavani.
Yes.
This was
Bhavani.
so. I love Barney. I absolutely do. He's adorable.
It's so cute.
And Avani, being the fact that she's struggling this week, all her mates are blanking her on socials. I'm telling you, I've said it before and I will say it again. I'm so glad to know that was a thing when we were at school. It would drive me insane because that must be
Right,
so
well,
all encompassing when you're
you
a kid
could you
these
could
days.
get blocked on MSN though when I were a kid. Like, who
Yeah,
knew you were an MSN user, but
I never got
that were a
blocked. I
thing.
was far too
I
popular.
did the blocking, I'm not gonna
Of
lie. I
course you
used to
did.
block my friend a
You
lot.
were a
What
bully
a
then. Is that what you're telling me? You were a bully at school.
no, I wait, but it were complicated, Rob. She used to lie about things a lot.
Did she? Did she? I
Yeah,
bet.
she used to say she used to say that she had illnesses that she didn't have, and I used to be like,
Oh,
I'm blocking you. I'm
yeah.
not dealing with
I don't
this
need
right
that
now.
drama. I
Blocked.
bet you were one of those that sort of used to move people around on your MySpace in the different order of friends just to cause drama, weren't you? I bet you were. I bet you were. Yeah.
Totally was a top hater.
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah.
was. 100%
Space.
Rob.
You're going down
And
to space four.
sometimes, if you really wanted to annoy people, you just put MySpace Tom as number one. And be like, well, I
Yeah.
can't decide this week, so Tom's
Tom's
getting
the
it.
only
All
one I can
right.
trust.
Yeah, right now.
Wonder what happened to MySpace, Tom. Wonder if he's. I miss
He made a
MySpace.
lot of money by selling it, I think, and
I'm telling
then
you now, MySpace was the best social media site there's ever been because you could create a
100%.
profile, you could have a theme song on your
I learned how
profile.
to do HTML
Oh, it was
thanks to
great.
MySpace. It was
Bring MySpace
brilliant.
back. I loved it. Absolutely loved
Agreed.
MySpace. Wouldn't have had any of this rubbish that you have with Elon Musk and Twitter on MySpace, would you? It was all innocent back
No.
then.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Lovely.
So yeah, the Barney and Avani stuff. He buys her a gift. It's also sweet
Yes.
and it's also sweet and teenage and
What
sweet and
gift did he get?
innocent.
We didn't see it, did we? It was
I
a
got the
nice
fit.
little
It was like a
bag.
little box, wasn't it? So maybe he got like a necklace or something.
So cute.
So
Come on,
cute.
Avani. Come
What's
on.
wrong with you? And as far as I'm concerned, Joel can get in the sea now because
Oh,
he
I'm
upset
sorry.
Barney.
Is
Well,
he a wrongin, Rob? Is our
absolutely.
Joel a
I never said
wrongin?
otherwise. Never said otherwise. He is. It's absolutely a wrong one because he
He is a wrongin.
basically because Avani's invited to Nicola's birthday party at
Yes.
Harry's barn. Barney's invited her, and she doesn't go because she's feeling all sort of teenage and depressed.
Yeah.
So Barney goes round with his gift just to check up on her and see if she's coming. And then Joel sort of saunters around the corner and says, "You didn't invite me around, but I've come round anyway because we're going to watch a movie together, yeah." And Barney's like, "Oh, do you want to come in, Barney, and watch it with us?" And Barney just walks down the street, heartbroken and on the verge of tears.
I've
So
got so
sad.
many issues with all of this. Number one, Ivana should have texted him at the very least and said, I'm
Yes, she
not
should.
feeling up to
She
it. I'm
should.
sorry. I don't care if you're having a break from your phone, Ivani. You do not let Barney down like that, right?
Absolutely.
And number two, she should have said, no, Joel.
No, busy.
I don't want you to just randomly come in my house and
Yeah,
watch a movie.
yeah.
Go away.
Got some swag about him as Joel, hasn't he?
He's a wrong one. He
He's a
forced
wrong one.
himself in there. It were a
Yeah.
bit, you know what I mean? Like, well, that's what we're doing. Oh, right, is it? Okay, come in then, I guess.
Yes. So
Wrong one.
wrong un, and he upset Barney. So as far as I'm concerned, he can get arrested
Told
and
you.
be thrown in
Told
prison.
you.
Mm,
Mm.
yes. So that's all sad. So we'll see how that kind of plays
Yeah.
out. The only other sort of Mitchell stuff, and I absolutely loved this. Kojo has decided that he wants a bit of independence because it turns out he hasn't really enjoyed living in the Vic all that much. He's still having nightmares about the explosion, which I think he would.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Fair
he would.
enough.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's about time that somebody reacted to the trauma that gets kind of put on them in the square. It's like, do you know what? I
Very
don't want to
true.
be a. All these years that we've said, why would anyone go in the Vic? So much trauma has happened there. Stacey goes in there every week, and she's lost people in there. She's been caught in multiple explosions and fires in
Murdered
there.
someone
She's
there.
murdered someone in there. You know, why would she ever go in there?
Yeah.
Kojo has gone, do you know what? Something traumatic happened to me in that building. I don't want to live there anymore. Fair.
No, thank you. And do you know what? I've always found it too noisy
Yeah,
anyway.
and
It's
it
always been
smells.
too noisy.
And it
So
stinks in there,
actually,
so I don't
and
like
do you know
it.
what? Let's be honest. There's too many of us there anyway.
Yeah,
What
do you know
we're
what?
just keeping out the sofa anyway. You
It's like
know,
living in a
like
sardine can living with you lot. I want a place of my own. Now, George
yeah.
isn't convinced. You know, he's getting a little
Which is
sort
fair
of
enough that
fair
he's being
enough,
protective of
bit
him,
overprotective, but you know,
but
understandable.
also to the point of being a bit
Yeah,
What's the word? Come on.
overprotective,
Not condescending.
bit patronising.
Patronising. That's it. God, I couldn't think of what it were then. There we go.
So Kojo's like, well, no, screw that. So goes to Harry in the Archers and says, so basically, I'm great with cars because I used to work on taxis back home.
Yeah.
So you want to give me a
Sort
job,
us out.
really? And
Yeah.
Harry is like, well, yeah, fair. And what develops from here is what seems to be the start of a really lovely little friendship between the two of them, and I absolutely loved
Yes.
it. I think it's
I
my
agree.
favourite Harry week so far. I've loved all this.
And you know what? It's because it seems like an unlikely friendship,
It's
doesn't
always
it?
the
Because
best
of
sort,
their
isn't it?
personalities. But then we saw a scene with Kojo and Barney later on, and it made me
Yeah,
go, "Oh, you're similar." And then the penny dropped for me that, like, well, Harry is used to Barney's personality,
that's true.
so it
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense that actually he'd be quite caring towards somebody
Yeah,
like
it was
Kojo.
really good with him,
So
wasn't it? And they've got this cool
yeah,
little
really good.
little fist bump that they've started doing, like and
They're
all that
like
kind
the
of stuff.
new, they're like the new Keanu and Reese, except better. I
Much
think.
better, much
Yeah.
better. Yeah, love this. Keep that going, please. Like that a lot. Like that a lot. Because he
Like
goes, he goes to.
dating advice from Harry.
I mean, he
Jeez.
doesn't do bad. To be fair, he does all right.
True.
I
Yeah,
take dating
true.
advice of Harry, and it works because he goes to Nicola's party, and Harry gives him his first wage, and he goes and buys a drink for the lady with the nice eyes. Loved it. Loved it. Yeah,
Yeah,
really good stuff there. So I'd like to see that sort of develop. That was fun. I always say this, friendships are so important on the square in terms of story, in
definitely.
terms of like layered characters. It's really, really important. So that's what this era has
Yeah.
done so well, and
And I
they've kept it
mean,
going.
Harry even forgave him for, he was trying to ask that lady out when she were
Yeah,
getting a vehicle, what, with a car back. And he was
yeah,
like, well, haven't you already got a date on
yeah.
Friday?
I
More
love him.
moments like that would be great.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Absolutely love it. So yeah, all the Mitchell stuff really, really strong this week. Really enjoyed it. I love them as a set of characters. I'm very intrigued to sort of see where this is or when all this is going to blow up for Nicola because
Well,
it's going to
it's
be
not only
cataclysmic.
Teddy, which we're about to see. Is
Yeah.
Teddy then going to tell Harry because he don't want to then feel guilty about Harry not knowing what's happened or something? Like, how's he going to decide what to tell Harry or whether to tell him anything?
Well, don't forget, Harry at one point was kind of convinced that Teddy was involved in it. So if he
Yeah,
discovers that
yeah.
this building the body is buried there, that's not going to help that, is it?
I definitely think Teddy's going to dig it up because he's going to think
Yeah.
I'm incriminated now. Everyone's going to think that I got
Yeah.
Paradise Park because I'm the
Yeah.
one who's responsible for her. Or Nicola's going to make him think of it like that.
Yeah.
But then
Absolutely.
how could Teddy and Nicola are they going to just pretend to carry on being a couple because Teddy's going to be like, well, I can't forgive you for this. This is too far. This is too far, Nick.
You
This is
think,
too
wouldn't you?
far.
And she's like, "Oh, please,
But
King Edward, no, too much."
but then how would they explain breaking up to the boys if that did
Mm,
happen without
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Messy, very, very messy.
Very messy.
Looking forward to seeing see how that all plays out, and then thrown in with the Barney and Zach thing as well. Big old explosion coming soon. Love it.
I wonder when that's going to get revealed.
I mean, I don't
September
know.
maybe a
Maybe.
big September reveal,
You reckon they
keeping
could
it a
drag it
bit
out over the
longer.
summer and then sort of do the big stuff in
Yeah,
September? Yeah, I reckon
yeah.
so. Yeah, bring it on though. I can't wait. It's going to be really, really, really good. So that was sort of all one section of the show this week, and then the other half of this week was very much dedicated to Nigel and Phil. So probably will be a slightly shorter episode this week because the final storyline of this week was talking about Nigel and Phil. Although some gorgeous stuff here, and what they did this week, one of those things I absolutely love, was give us an episode smack bang in the middle of the week, dedicated to that story with a really small cast. I love episodes like that; they're the best
Yeah.
sort, and only EastEnders does them, and they're doing very, very well,
Yes. Very well at it. Very
very,
well.
very
There were
well.
how many was there? About five people in that
Yeah, it
episode,
was a
roughly.
five-hander. It was
Yeah.
five-hander, and mostly
Yeah.
between Nigel and Phil. Very, very good.
Mm.
Very, very strong. Um, so Easter on the square this week, and Nigel, and there's sort of like a little Easter egg hunt going on in the square. Very cute. Albie dressed up as a rabbit. I love that. I love it when the kids get dressed up as rabbits. It's so cute. It's nothing cuter than the
Very
kids getting
cute.
dressed up in their little costumes. I love it. Um, and someone's dropped out. I think Howie was supposed to dress up as a bunny rabbit, but
Yes,
he's
Howie, that's right. Yep.
broken his leg or something, so he couldn't do it. So Nigel volunteers, and Nigel looked adorable in his rabbit
He was
outfit,
such
didn't
a
he?
cute bunny
Such a cute bunny
rabbit.
rabbit.
Bless
I
him.
really wanted it to just go
Oh,
well, and for him just to be able to have a nice, and not I was say a nice
yeah.
memory, but you know what I mean, like a nice sort of
Yeah.
time doing it.
Just a
And it,
nice day of,
yeah,
yeah, being involved
but
in some Easter festivities.
yeah,
Yeah.
and if that had gone on anywhere but Albert Square, maybe he would have done, you know.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because he has a moment, he sees Harvey taking Hope away and gets all confused and thinks that he's taking Claire away, and so sort of
Yeah.
runs up and accuses Harvey of being a paedophile, and sort of it all kicks off. Harvey, I didn't think was very reasonable throughout the whole thing, because even when he found out about Nigel's diagnosis, he was still being a bit of an arse about it, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
I agree. I kind of get it a little bit because for Harvey, you're seeing it as you were screaming
Yeah,
pedo in my face, which is what he was
yeah,
doing.
which you'd
But
get,
then,
yeah,
yeah, when
when you
so I
find
can
out
understand why
why,
he'd be hurt. But yeah, when you
yeah,
find out why, and then and you know that everyone else has found out why, and
yeah.
you know you're not,
Yeah.
so it doesn't
But
really
then, to be
matter, does
fair,
it?
even when he did calm down later and say, "Do you know what, I'll go and apologise, I'll take these biscuits over," it still resulted in Nigel yelling in his face because he couldn't remember
Yeah.
any of it happening, bless him. So
Yeah,
it,
maybe they're
yeah.
just destined to not get on then,
Yeah.
so. Well, which would make sense though, actually, because he's not going to be as empathetic, is he? Or sympathetic. Because
Mm,
obviously Jean's trying to get involved with looking after Nigel.
yeah.
So if Harvey's always going to be a bit like, well, I tried to make amends and then he shouted at me,
Yeah.
and he's not going to maybe go, well, he has got dementia and understand it more. He's going to say to Jean, why are you helping him?
Yeah.
And not
Harvey's a bit of a
agree with Jean
dinosaur.
helping. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we've got another barrier in their
Yeah, another one,
relationship,
yeah.
haven't we?
Another little
Yeah.
blockage pushing him into Kathy's
Mm,
boudoir. Yes.
exactly.
Um, so yeah, that doesn't go well. Nigel sort of runs off and sits in the laundrette, and he tells Yolandi, "It's all right, I'm prepared for this."
Yeah.
And
I've
what it
got a plan.
trans
Everything's in hand.
everything's in hand. I've got a plan. What it transpires is that he recorded when he was all bearded up over Christmas when he was homeless. He recorded a message for himself,
Yeah.
giving himself a little quiz about horror films, and I think specifically Night of the Living Dead. Ever seen Night of the Living
Mm.
Dead?
No, not a
No,
horror film kind of gal, I'm
me
afraid.
neither. I don't do gore. I'm telling you now. Don't put me. If I've literally like someone has put, I've been around someone's house with a group of friends, and they said, "Oh, should we watch a horror film?" And I gone to put on a really gory horror film. I've gone home. I can't cope with it. It just psychological stuff like Paranormal Activity, all that kind of thing. I can watch that until the
Yeah.
cows come home. That's fine.
So,
Gore and stuff sits in my head wrong. I don't like it. It really
what? Oh, you
upsets me.
don't like the gore?
I
Because
hate gore.
oh, no, I don't get into it enough. I just think it's all really farcical because I just go, well, that's a special effect. Oh, that's a good special
No,
effect. Oh, I wonder what they've used there instead of the
honestly.
chocolate sauce, maybe.
Do you know what it is? I
I
don't think I like.
don't.
I think I've got a phobia at the sight of blood. I
Oh,
think that's what it is because I've noticed that not like, but very specific circumstances, like someone getting the throat cut. I'm like that. I like
yeah.
instantly my head automatically turns and give
Even
myself
if you know
whiplash.
that it's fake.
Oh yeah, no, doesn't make any difference whatsoever.
I'm all right if I know that. If I can think that's totally fake and just
Yeah, no.
and maybe I'm too like that though. I'm like, that's so blatantly
I struggle
fake.
with an
It
episode of
definitely must be
Casualty,
fake.
to be honest with you.
All
I
right.
struggle. Yeah, weird, isn't
Oh
it? There you
God.
go. There you go.
There you go.
Anyway, Nigel,
We
however,
digressed a lot, haven't we?
to digress a bit. Nigel, however, doesn't feel like that
Oh
because he loves
no,
horror
doesn't he
films. So
go?
he does. So he has given himself a pop quiz on his phone and said to himself, right, if you can not answer any of these questions, that you know this film inside out, and if you can't answer any of these questions, then your condition's taken over and you need to stop yourself because you don't want to be a burden to anybody. Now, I thought it was interesting here the way they framed it because when Phil discovers this, it all sort of brings back not only obviously what happened to him, but also what happened with Peggy. And I'd kind of
Yeah,
forgotten
definitely.
that sort of side of it.
Hmm.
And what was really interesting was that at one point he was going upstairs to the room that Nigel was sleeping in, which was also the room that Peggy killed herself in, and was worried
Yeah,
that he was going to find Nigel in exactly the same situation. I thought that was interesting.
awful.
Yeah,
Yeah, very awful Phil as well.
yeah.
Having gone through what he's gone through recently. I mean, it'd be bad enough anyway, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah,
Thinking I'm
yeah,
going to discover this again with somebody who poor
yeah.
Phil. I felt for
That'd be
Phil
awful.
this week.
Yeah,
And
I
Nigel,
mean,
of course,
of
but
course, yeah. But I tell you what, the character development for Phil this era has just been phenomenal, hasn't it? Like, he's a different man now after what's happened to
yeah.
him. I think there's a
But it,
genuine change in him.
but it's weirdly not out of character either. They've done
No,
really well at
it
making
feels
it
like
kind of a
natural.
gradual.
Yeah, yeah.
Evolvement, is that the word?
Yeah, evolution. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's felt very natural though. Like you could feel,
Metamorphosis. Yeah, yeah. It's been really sort of natural
yeah,
and and really really well handled because it makes total sense that he's now where he
yeah,
is because Phil was never going to be able to be the sort of gruff, scary gangster for the rest of his life. Like, there's got to
no,
be a point where he goes, you know what, I need to sort of settle a little bit here. And this story has sort of allowed him to do that without it feeling weird
yeah.
or
I
awkward or
feel
making him
like
feel out of place.
I feel like this does happen in real life though with
Mm.
a lot of men. Like they tend to soften at around 60, and he's coming
I
up
I
to that
softened
age,
up. I
isn't he?
softened at about 17, to be honest with you.
Well, it depends on personality type,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
think, or maybe it's that you don't want to mask how you really feel. I
mm,
don't know. Maybe it's that
yeah,
you're a bit more in tune with your actual emotions and not trying to cover them up as much. I don't
yeah,
know,
yeah,
but it's very interesting with
yeah.
Phil. But also maybe Nigel brings that side out of him because, that's why they've been friends. Nigel is not somebody you would ever expect him to be friends with, but it's because he's always looked after him, hasn't he?
Well,
That
isn't
is
that
what their friendship is based on.
and it's that sort of goes back to what we were saying earlier about Harry and Kojo is why this friendship works so well on screen is because actually they're polar opposites in a lot of ways,
Yeah,
but you totally understand that they've known each other since childhood, and you can
yeah,
totally imagine all the scrapes they would have got into, and Phil would have had to
hmm
have stepped forward and defended Nigel, and there's something that they like about each other, and like they've
yeah,
established this friendship, this unbreakable bond apparently that is
hmm
just that led them to this point. And it just feels
yeah,
completely and utterly natural. And I genuinely
yeah,
think bringing Nigel back has been one of the strongest points of this era because it's a shame that
yeah,
the story's going in the way it's going, but at the same time, it's been a perfect development point for
yeah,
Phil, which was, I
yeah,
think, desperately
exactly.
needed. So
Yes.
it's been really, really well done. Really well done. Which then sort of leads us into the episode in the middle of the week, which is entirely focused on this story because Phil discovers the video on Nigel's phone, realizes what he's about to do.
hmm
They have a bit of a row because Phil I understood this completely. Like Phil going, "You're a hypocrite. Like out of everything that you said to me that
hmm
night when I was about to top myself, and you were planning on doing it all along. What the hell?"
Yeah.
Like, kind of got where he was thinking.
I get that. I got that as well. Having said that, the situations were totally different, but I
Totally
do
different.
understand Phil
Yeah,
in the moment reacting the way that he did completely.
yeah,
Yeah, it made total
yeah,
sense. But then, God, he was so harsh though, and he was like, "Well, just go and do it then. Go and
yeah,
do it." It's like, what are you
yeah.
saying, Phil? But okay,
Yeah, but
yeah,
at the same time, it's sort of. I mean, the other
yeah,
sort. I mean, there is some of the old Phil there, but it's sort of like you sort of get it because Phil kind of feels that I can imagine it sort of made Phil feel as though none of that really meant anything. You know,
yeah.
what were
When
you?
actually for him, it was a
Yeah,
very like
it saved
pivotal
his
moment
life.
for him,
It
weren't
saved
it?
his
Yeah.
life, didn't it? Yeah, if Phil hadn't have
He
said that.
remembers, it seems like he remembers every detail of what everybody said to him in that moment when that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's why it's even more hurtful and hypocritical that he's hearing Nigel say that. It's like,
yeah,
all right, meant nothing, brilliant, all
yeah,
words.
brilliant. So they have a row. Nigel sort of storms off, gets himself mugged, which was. Which like all, and it was a bit of a weak mugging as well because all this man really did was pull at his bag. And Nigel fell on the floor, and the guy was like, "Oh, that's that bad. Run away. Worst
Well,
mugger in the world."
I think, yeah, I think they just kind of panicked, didn't they? And were like, oh,
Yeah.
he's just hit his head.
Oh,
Bye. Don't be
well, see
getting
you
in trouble
later.
for that.
See you
Yeah.
later. So
Poor Nigel.
Nigel ends up in hospital, and again with friendships, by the way, Linda and Phil. Bit more of that this week.
Yes. Hopefully it remains a friendship. I'm really hoping it
I
does.
was going to ask you about this. It's part of me kind of feels like the show isn't going to be able to resist it at some point.
We've got a new exec coming in as well.
Yeah,
Is he going
yeah.
to think, "Oh, come on, this makes sense"? I really hope not. But
Does it make sense?
We said this about Cat and Phil and look what they did.
Yeah, I mean they make more sense than Cat and Phil did, but at the same time, I'm sort of like, I just don't want it to leave this point because I love their relationship
I
because they
agree. I
completely and
agree.
utterly understand each other without them needing to sleep together.
It did feel like there were a few moments though where Linda was like, "You can tell me anything," and it felt a
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
potentially a bit
A bit
more than what
tender,
was supposed. Yeah.
tender. Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
I don't know. I mean, I hope it doesn't go there, but at the same time, I kind of feel like it's almost inevitable at some point. And
yeah. I
also,
think.
as well as that, you've got because it's a soap and you've got to keep the drama going, you've got the Sharon element as well.
Yeah.
So,
Of course.
with
Yeah.
Linda and Sharon being best mates, it adds that element to it as well. So, I feel
Yeah.
like at some point the show's not going to be able to resist going there.
I agree. And I think as well, Linda's being quite a big part of helping with the Nigel stuff. I mean, when he were in hospital, he asked the hospital to contact Linda. So they're
Yeah.
obviously got that closeness. So I think then Phil and Linda are going to bond over
Mm.
helping look after
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nigel, all of that jazz. Maybe when Nigel does eventually pass,
Mm-hmm.
then they might. I don't know. I don't know how long it'll be. I hope that they don't
Bit of
introduce it
grief
now, and
sex.
maybe they do wait until Nigel's
Yeah,
passed because it'd be nice to just focus on Phil and Nigel
yeah.
at the moment.
Mm.
But talking of which, when Linda was at the hospital, she asked the nurse, didn't she, would this head injury have made his, could it have impacted his dementia? And they did say, don't think it'll have made it better, which is making me wonder if they're going to make
Fast
it go
forward
a
it.
bit quicker. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
because
they're
I
going to use
was
it as a
kind of,
reason.
yeah, because I was kind of wondering like how far they're going to go with this because Phil has basically said, right, I'll be your full-time carer,
Yeah.
which is great. I would kind of, I mean, if you're going to go here, then you may as well go the full sort of hog and show what it's like living with someone with dementia
Mm,
and sort of show what it's like to care for someone with dementia. Um, and it's sort of like, they've made it very clear. Nigel said it from the start. You realise how sort of bad this is going to get. Like, you're going to get to a
yeah.
point where you're going to have to be taking me to the loo and doing all of that sort of thing for
Mhm.
me. Um, so I wonder if if they're gonna go all the way and sort of show what it's like to do the day-to-day care of it all.
Yeah, I think it sounds like they're going to, or is Phil going to admit defeat? Because did you know what? There were one point this week where Jean said to him something like, you need to look after him better," and I thought
Mm.
that were well
No, it
harsh.
was
I
well
actually
harsh. Yeah,
think,
yeah.
but it seemed like Phil were like, "Oh no, you're right." It's like, hang on, Phil. I think you've done the best that you can so far.
Yeah, I reckon so. I mean, Phil's worst crime this week was maybe getting a bit controlling with it, but at the same time, you're sort of like, I kind of get
It was
it
with the best
because
intentions. It's
it
him trying to
was.
figure it all out, isn't it?
And to be honest with you, Phil wasn't exactly proved wrong at any point this week with that, was he? Because
No.
whenever Nigel was left on his own, something bad happened. Like he went to the shop
Mm,
and he comes back and Harvey and Nigel are having a blazing row because Nigel's
mm,
completely forgotten about what happened earlier. So you can
yeah.
kind of see why Phil would think, I can't, I need to keep a constant eye on you, and that's
Yeah.
only going to get worse. That's the sad, heartbreaking thing about this. Is like there's no point where this story is going
Mm.
to have a sort of almost a crumb of optimism about it because it's just going to kind of get steadily worse as time goes on.
I think the thing at the minute, like Phil's gone and told Kathy he's quitting and that's it with immediate effect. Whereas I feel like really, rather than Phil taking on this carer role
Mm.
24/7 now, whilst Nigel is, he's still got his wits about him to some extent.
Yeah,
I know that it can be a bit up and down.
yeah,
He should have let it, he should have said, well, maybe he does carry on working and then let Kathy keep updating him and going, I think it might be time for him to start stepping down
yeah.
now. I've got him while he's here because he's got to be good for his brain
I reckon
doing
so.
that
And
bit
to
at the
be fair,
camp.
and what now Kathy knows what's going on.
Yeah,
Like pot washing, nice. Just do my pot
yeah,
washing. That
yeah.
gives you something to do. It gives you something. It gives you something to
Purpose.
focus on. Gives you a
Hmm.
purpose. Gets you a bit of money.
Yeah,
And Kathy, I think, is the right person to have in that situation as well. Like,
yeah,
yes, the cast can get busy, and realistically, I think she'd still have to hire somebody else to sort of do what Nigel was doing because you're not going to be able to allow him to use like the coffee machine or the fryer or anything like that.
mm,
Just give him a nice simple job that he can table wipe and all of that kind of thing. And I think
yeah.
it's doable, isn't it? So
Yeah, they could have even just said like, we'll reduce his hours, but he can
yeah,
still come in there. I'm like, Tuesday and a Thursday, and he can
yeah.
help with cleaning or something. Yeah, rather than going all in. But then Phil was saying, oh, he needs a routine, and apparently that really helps. At what
Mm.
stage do you implement a routine then? Because,
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Phil kind of went in all hog, didn't he? Because he was once he
mm,
decided that he was going to be Nigel's carer, Nigel's automatically getting like food cut up into tiny little squares for him. It's sort of like not quite at that stage yet, Phil.
yeah,
Calm
exactly.
down a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it was really really nice, and I just think that it's just such a beautiful story to watch unfold in the sort of most saddest way possible because there's
yeah.
no point where this is not going to be sad, unfortunately.
It's just going to keep getting progressively more
Yeah.
sad, isn't it, as time goes on?
With the suicide thing, I did wonder if this is going to go into a bit of a Dot and Ethel type direction
Interesting.
eventually.
I did ponder that myself, but I think Phil's I feel like this week was kind of saying that's not going to happen there now. Like they've
Maybe
gone, well, look, I'm agreeing to be a carer. I'm okay with it. You're not a burden.
yet. That's
So
the
I
problem.
actually, Well, I don't think Phil would help him do it down the line, though,
No, I
if
don't
I'm
think it. Well, I don't
honest.
know. I don't know because would it? I don't know because is that sort of to do with helping? Because clearly the thing that happened with Peggy is still having a very heavy effect on Phil all
True,
these years
yeah.
later. So there's a
Mm.
side of me that sort of wonders: are they going to go down that path in order to
That's a
sort of
point.
clear Phil's conscience about that and sort of help him
So,
get over
because he won't
Peggy's
want
death
to
by,
risk,
yeah,
yeah, he won't want to risk Nigel doing it on his own,
yeah. And
like
if
Peggy did.
someone, yeah, and he's going to think, well, if he is asking me to help him with that, does me helping Nigel do that down the line
Mm,
help me kind of clear my conscience about not helping Mum? So,
mm. I don't know. I'm hoping not though, because like I say, I think further down the line, maybe even Nigel won't be thinking like that because he'll not be
mm,
aware
you
enough.
won't be aware. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have a
as sad
point.
as that
Yeah,
is.
it's, yeah. I mean, I don't know. And the other side of it, of course, is, this is all very new for Phil. And at the moment, it's like, yeah, I'll be your full-time carer, not a problem. Great, in theory. However, further down the line, how
Mm,
intense is that going to be as soon, when this really starts taking hold of him and he is having to, like,
yeah,
feed him and take him to the loo and doing all that kind of stuff? Does that.
yeah. Well, I still don't understand why nobody's got in touch with Nigel's wife though, if I'm honest with you.
Mm, yeah.
Like, this doesn't make sense
I think
now.
they will eventually. I
I
do think that
hope
Julia's
so.
going to show up eventually because it's sort of like she needs to know, and I
Yeah,
don't think they're going to leave it completely and utterly like, oh well, you're just not going to tell her. And she's just going to think you ran away for the rest of her
yeah.
life. I don't think they're going to leave it there. I think at some point Julie will be in contact, and also Claire, I think as well.
It'd be weird if, especially if
Nobody
Claire's
showed up.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So hopefully,
Mm.
we'll
It's
see.
sad though. It really, but tell you what, both of them are not. As if we needed to know that Steve McFadden's amazing, but Paul Bradley is also incredible, and I absolutely
Oh,
love
he
it.
is. He's so good at playing Nigel, and
He
bless
is.
him. And
It's so
not an
sad.
easy role to come back into, is it?
It's not. It's not, and it's not an easy story to do. And they're clearly doing it properly, which is right.
Yeah,
they clearly know what they're talking about with this. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting to sort of see where, because normally with soaps and dementia storylines, they tend to sort of do something along the lines of it's a guest character that's got it,
yeah,
and the story sort of gets cut short when some horrible accident occurs, like Sylvie in the bath.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Someone in Corrie had it a few years ago, and I think she electrocuted herself with a sink and a toaster or something like that, didn't they? So
Yes, yeah, I vaguely remember that.
it's going to be interesting to sort of see this storyline play out full term and sort of see everything that goes on with something like this. So it's going to be rough,
Yeah.
but I'm looking forward to it in a sort of weird
I
way. You know what I
know a
mean?
part of me isn't though as well
Yeah,
because I am finding it a bit more difficult to watch.
and it's
So
not
I
going to
hope
get
it
any
doesn't
better.
put some people off watching, who've
Yeah,
experienced it in real
yeah,
life. But then again, that's what EastEnders is here
yeah,
for and soaps, isn't it? To show you
yeah,
the reality of
yeah.
things
And
that aren't
EastEnders,
easy.
EastEnders is not the soap that holds your hand and never should be. So
No,
there you
that's
go.
true. Very true.
Gold star this week, Ray.
Oh, do you know
Tough,
what?
tough this week. I
It
think.
is. And oddly enough, I feel like I'm actually going to give it to Barney because I think he's just done such a good job,
Yeah,
the actor
fair.
this week.
Yeah, tough for me this week because actually I've really enjoyed everybody this week.
Mm,
I think I might give mine to Nigel just
yeah,
because
fair enough. Yeah.
it's sad and he's doing
I
so
was
so well.
debating Phil as well, but
Yeah,
I feel like I
yeah,
want to give it to
and
Barney for
Kojo as
his
well. I
acting.
really enjoyed Kojo
Yeah,
this week as well.
actually, I feel like now, because before I've been a bit harsh about Kojo, like, what's
You
the
have. You
point
should
of
see what
Kojo?
should hear what she says about him off mic. What's the point of Kojo?
But
No,
now it
but
seems,
yeah,
but now it's
they're building him up
like,
now.
yeah, I'm glad that they're just giving Kojo something more to do other than just being George's little brother, aren't they? They're
Yeah,
giving him a bit more purpose on the square, and now
yeah,
he's like integrating with people who aren't from just in the night family.
yeah,
I'm here for
absolutely.
Kojo.
Yeah, yeah, enjoying it. So yeah, really, really strong week this week. Really good stuff. And we'll finish the podcast as usual with some comments from you.
Before we get to the comments, a little bit of kinder news. Patsy Palmer, Bianca, has been evicted from the Celebrity
Yes,
Big Brother house this
yes, she
week,
has.
hasn't
She's
she,
been
Ron?
good. She's been good.
She
I mean,
has.
I always watch Big Brother, and I was
Yeah.
really amazed that Patsy even went in.
Yes,
As I was
same,
amazed,
definitely.
as I was amazed that Jack P. Shepherd went in. To be fair, I thought they did a really good
Yeah,
lineup with soap stars this year on Celebrity Big Brother. Patsy
I
did very,
agree.
very well. She ended up going final in a triple eviction. Like normal
Yes.
eviction, she would have survived. She's been up for eviction about 2 or 3 times,
Yeah, three
and
times.
she went in the triple eviction, which was a shame because I think she deserved the final
Yeah.
because it was very, very funny.
I agree because she was like very clearly hating it at one point,
Yeah,
but then she seemed to like actually start getting into it and
always
like,
the
do you know
way.
what? I'm here. She
Yeah,
accepted it and then she got evicted,
yeah,
but
it's always the
she did
way.
very well.
She did.
Enjoyed seeing her full personality, her
Yeah,
full, as Trisha
full of
Goddard said,
meditation.
LA vibes,
Yeah, yeah,
California,
yeah,
sorry, vibes that she had.
yeah,
Did a bit of meditation and
yeah,
stuff. Very
yeah, yeah.
far from Bianca. It's nice to
Very
see
far. Yeah,
Patsy Palmer as herself and
yeah.
not, her typecast of Bianca. So
She
well
was
done to
fun.
Patsy Palmer.
Well done,
Yeah.
Patsy Palmer. You did right. I think came seventh all in all over the whole series. So that's not bad. That's not bad. Left to cheers,
Great.
raucous applause. Yep, all went well.
Yeah, she didn't get any booze, did she?
No, she
Which
didn't
is
go
really
booze.
good going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she did well. Fair play. I reckon it's either going to be JoJo or that wins it overall. I think.
I actually
I
think Jack
reckon
P. Shepherd might.
he
Sorry if
might
you
do.
don't watch Celebrity Big Brother
No,
and don't have a clue
to
what
be
we're on
fair,
about.
I reckon. Yeah, it's either going to
I
be.
think, yeah.
Yeah, Jack might win it. Jack might win it.
I
Anyway,
think I'm going to vote for Jack, if I'm honest
yeah,
with you, but
fair.
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, she left Celebrity Big Brother. She did very, very well. Fair play. Any comments this week, Ree?
Yes, we've got a comment from Declan Walton who says, prediction. Teddy will forgive Nicola on a that's it, no more lies basis. All this about Barney will get uncovered and Nicola will have nothing and no one, leaving her no choice but to befriend and live with the equally despised Cindy, and what a duo they will make.
Now there's an idea. Hey,
Eh?
that'd be good. Cindy and Nicola, yes,
Ooh.
please. That would be fun.
Would we prefer them to be a team or enemies, Cindy and Nicola?
I mean, either would be fun. I think it might be interesting. So it might be interesting, to sort of give Cindy a new dynamic when she comes back and give her a new
Yeah.
rivalry. That would be fun.
I feel like Nicola's way more cutthroat and
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. I think Nicola
evil
is.
than Cindy.
Yeah,
I can't believe I'm
yeah.
saying that about somebody on the square, but
No, I
100% she
agree. I
is.
think Cindy is more sort of selfish, whereas Nicola
She's just
will.
more about her affairs, isn't
She
she?
is.
She's not
Yeah.
about,
Oh my
drug
God! Imagine if
rings
she
and
had an
all
affair
that.
with Teddy. When Teddy finds out about everything and he ends up sleeping with Cindy.
Oh,
Ooh. And that's
oh,
how the feud develops. That would be interesting.
that would be very
Ooh.
interesting.
Ooh.
And
Mind
then, and
you,
then, and then Nicola and Junior can have the affair because I'm
yes.
adamant that that might happen at some point as well.
Nicola and Junior. Oh, maybe,
Mm.
maybe. To be fair, Cindy isn't going to be back for a while because Michelle Collins is in a play until the end of August, I think. So that means we're not going to see her back on
Okay.
screen
Oh
till
wow.
about September, October time. So
I mean, a mother-in-law did try and kill us,
yeah, you'd have a
so
holiday, wouldn't you? You'd have a break.
yeah.
But she's plotting her revenge, so Cindy will be coming back, but not for a few months yet. So,
Okay.
but there's stuff for her to do. There's stuff for her to do. Interesting. Another comment from Richard Brasington who says the scenes between Linda and Phil were electric, so good together. Hope we see more of these two together. Not the most obvious character pairing, but it works. Just hope they don't spoil it by having them fall in love.
Ugh, no thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I do love their. Yeah, I just feel like this show's not going to be able to resist going there at some point.
I agree. It feels like it's almost inevitable.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it'd be nice to see a platonic friendship, but then again, do your general viewership want that, or are they going to want the
Mm.
drama that could come with Phil and
I
Linda
mean,
having a
story-wise, I
relationship?
mean, also what I've always thought would be kind of interesting is if Phil and Linda fell off the wagon together. That because they're both
It would be.
self-destructive. Yeah,
It'd make for good viewing, but as far as
long
character
term.
development that we've had, I don't
Yeah,
think they should do that.
it would
But
be a
yeah, it
shame
would
to
be
wreck it
great
all.
viewing.
Yeah, so,
Like,
but that's the only reason I'd want
but
that, just for that moment, rather than a
yeah,
long-term thing. I don't think they'd work long-term, which kind of makes me
no,
think, what's the point in doing it if they're not going to work long-term, you
yeah.
know?
I was trying to think as well, like, why have Sharon and Phil not got back together yet? But of course, we've got the that Sharon slept with Grant, didn't she? So I don't
Yeah.
think they're gonna. I don't think they will actually get back together anytime soon. So, like
No,
you say,
so,
then you've
both
got the Linda and
available.
Sharon element
Yeah,
if they do. Yeah.
yeah.
Ugh.
Uh, we'll see.
One last comment from Louise Clare who says Barney and Ivani would be such a good choice for a couple, maybe later in life to get married and have kids. Their opposite personalities would support each other brilliantly. Looks like we're getting a teen romance there. How amazing and unexpected would it be if they stayed the distance and we were welcoming back Bavani's family for the 60th anniversary?
That'd be nice. I mean, they're giving
Here
Stacey and
for it.
Bradley vibes, if you ask me.
Very, very, yeah, you said that before. I think they would make a sweet couple. And do you know what? I think Cavani was. I think she does view him as a friend, but I did get a glimpse of
Yeah.
her looking at him a bit like,
Well,
maybe
she
that
knows
could
it.
be a
She
thing.
knows he fancies her, doesn't she? She's
Yeah,
well aware
yeah,
of that. So the fact that she hasn't sort of discouraged anything like that means that there's a part of her that's sort of like, oh, I do quite like you. It's just
yeah.
sweet
Very
and lovely,
sweet,
and
very sweet.
it's lovely. I really, and wherever this whole stuff with Joel is going, he's Joel.
You think Joel's trying to make a move on Ivani then
Oh, I
when
think
he's gone
so. I
round?
think
Yeah.
so. Yeah. Because
It seemed like he were eyeing up Amy as well, didn't he?
yeah. So
Hmm.
he's there to break hearts and wreck
Watch
lives,
this
isn't he?
space with
Watch this
him.
space,
Wrong him.
indeed. That's it for this week, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like to get in touch with us, you can do the following.
You can find us on Facebook at Albert Square After Dark and Twitter and Instagram at E20 After Dark. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can listen to us on Apple and all your favourite podcast sites. Drop us an email at e20afterdarkpodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to buy us a coffee, you can do so by going on buymeacoffee.com/E20 After Dark.
Yes, you can indeed. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. We will be back same time next week. Until then, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye for me.
See you later. Goodbye.
Bye.